distinguished colleagues, honorable guests of this conference. If you can hear me well, please do let me know in the comment section. Say, hello, Artyom, nice to see you, or you can send me a smiley or a plus. Yes, I can see a lot of pluses and smileys. This is amazing how many people can come together thanks to technologies, right? All these online webinars, online conferences, online lessons. We are living in a truly new epoch. Yes, I can see a lot of smileys and pluses. Hello, guys. Hello, hello. We are living in a truly unique period of history, truly unique epoch of teaching, I would even say. And it's even more important to speak about writing now, and I can prove why. Well, if you guys did write at least something with a pen and a piece of paper, say in the last 6 months, please write a plus in the comment section, or say something. Yes, yes, we did write something, or no, minus. Well, I can see pluses. Okay, I can see quite a lot of pluses, to be truly honest. I did not expect that. Well, you know, okay, we are teachers. Yeah, I see so many pluses. Oh my goodness. Okay, we are teachers. We tend to do things that normal people do not do, all right? But let's face it, our children, at least, they do not write much. They type now. They type. They do not write. And most exams, I would say all exams, include at least one section on writing. So we have to, maybe we must do something to help them cope with these difficulties and to practice writing. What can we do to take our children from phonics to writing essays and stories? Well, there are quite a lot of things, to be truly honest. First of all, this is one of my favorite things. I do this all the time. When my students come in September, I ask parents to go to any local stationery shop and buy this notebook. They're usually cheaper than $50, I think. And they bring those notebooks to my lessons, and every student takes a pen and writes a name on this notebook. Then I collect these notebooks and I write a simple question, level appropriate question. It can be one question to every student, or you can come up with different questions to every student. I'm usually lazy, so I have just one question to everyone. It's like, it can be as simple as, how are you today? What's your name? Right? This is something simple. Next lesson, I distribute the notebooks and they take them home. Their homework is to read my question, write an answer, and bring their homework back, the notebook back. Take the notebook, answer their question, and come up with my next question, and so on. Usually they ask me some silly questions like, how old are you? Are you married? That's okay, I don't mind that. I usually answer all this, and I come up with my own question. And at first you'll have to push your students a little bit, because this is not really what they're used to doing. But then at some point you will realize that they're actually looking forward to your answers, and you have managed to establish a kind of a secret communication channel between you and your students. And sometimes they would even write things that they would not normally say orally to you, but they can write those things there in this secret diary. That's why we call it a secret diary. Well, yeah, that's a lot of extra work, but it is really worth it, I promise. So this is one way to inject more writing into your daily routine. What else can you do? Well, this is one more thing I love doing, is a message on the board. So I write a big question on the board. It can be something simple like, how are you today? Or what's your favorite vegetable? Or what are you wearing today? And they take a sticker and write their answer on the sticker and stick it to the board. And we have these messages on the board. Awesome, right? Well, this is not the best part of it, because you can later, of course, you can make your questions more sophisticated, and gradually they would require more and more writing. So not just one word, can be 3, 4, a sentence, a small text. Yeah, write 3 things you like and 3 things you hate, and so on. Describe yourself in 1 word for high-level students, perhaps. You can organize it. You can organize a kind of chat between 2 classes. If one group writes a question on the board, but they do not answer this question, the second group, the one that comes next, will have to answer this question with those stickers. And then group A will be able to read the answers, and they will receive a question from group B too. This will be a kind of communication between 2 classes, which is great, isn't it? Yes. What else can you do? So you make writing an integral part of your teaching routine, and take it easy. Small is beautiful. Small steps. Your home assignment shouldn't be huge, right? At first, 5 minutes is enough. 5 minutes, it's always depressing to know that you have to sweat over this piece of writing, over this piece of paper for hours to please your favorite teacher. This is kind of depressing, right? So that's why it's always better to know that this torture will end soon. And this is the first piece of advice I give to the parents of my students. Say to your kid that it's going to take just 5 minutes, and they can even use a timer on their phone. Start a timer, and it will be like going 5, 4:59, 4:58. You will have to be writing for only 5 minutes, and then it's over. You can go play computer games or do whatever you want. In 5 minutes, this will be over, unless you want to continue. And usually, usually they want to continue, but it doesn't matter. 5 minutes. If you don't want to, you can go and play computer games. And next time it will be 6 minutes, then 7 minutes, then 10 minutes. Then gradually it will be half an hour, 40 minutes, normal writing time. So take it easy. First, small, and bigger, gradually. And dictations. Dictations can help a lot. Once I realized that my junior teenagers can talk about anything in the class, they can discuss anything, but when I ask them to write something, they can't produce anything at all, even 1 word is difficult. And I didn't know why it was, but kids also have the same problem. I decided to ask them to use their phones to record themselves while they were talking. So they basically discussed something and recorded themselves. And then when they came home, they listened to their own voice and they copied exactly what they were saying. And they got an essay. It worked. And we decided to do it more often, and it really helped us to jump into writing. Well, if your junior teenagers or young learners are struggling with writing, maybe you will want to try this hack. But I wasn't going to talk about this exactly. I was just going to say that dictations, copying something that somebody else said, can be a really powerful springboard for writing, because you don't have to produce anything yourself. You just copy something that somebody else did. And it can be as easy as this. You just take a text, you write it beforehand, and you just, in the past simple, and you just dictate it to your students and they listen and write it down. It sounds boring, right? That's why we don't do normal dictations. We usually do dictations like this, player dictations. For example, when I pretend to be a DVD player, so I have a text and I start reading this text, and there are these big giant buttons on the table or on the floor if I have a big classroom. And I start reading really slowly. To start reading, they need to press play. And I start reading very, very, very slowly. And at some point, one of the students is so irritated that he clicks this button, head button. And I start speaking faster, faster, faster. Then somebody else clicks it and I start speaking faster. Then I speak so quickly that one of the students is stressed out and he clicks pause. And I pause, I freeze like this until somebody clicks pause again. And then if they accidentally click stop, I will have to stop and I will not talk anymore. They will need to click play again to start me again. But the problem is that I will start from the very beginning of the text. So you see, this students accidentally or intentionally press wrong buttons, and this is a kind of a game. If they click the backwards button, I will read the text backwards, and well, this is funny. So you can try to do this, or you can try banana dictation. So you take a text from your course book and you erase some of the words from the course book, and when you read this, you will say a word, banana, for example, instead of those words. Your students listen to what you are saying and write everything down, but they will need to fill in the gaps with their own words, or they have to guess. My monster's name is, my monster's name is banana. My monster's name is Serежа. Oh, okay, Serежа, good. He is very banana. He is very funny, good. And so on. So they basically copy what you are saying, but it's not exactly copying. They are creating a text with you. And then when you're done, they can read their texts out loud, and we can all have fun. And then you will read the original text from the course book and do some exercises in the course book. Yes, you can do that. Or shouting dictations. If you have a big group of at least 10 students, if you have a smaller group, you can also try this, but it's really fun when there are a lot of people doing this activity. So you divide your class in two teams. Team A standing by this wall, team B standing by this wall. Team A have got a text, a small text. They need to dictate this text to team B, and all students B will listen and write down. The problem is that they need to shout loudly as they can, and they will do this simultaneously. You can imagine how noisy it will be in the classroom. Of course, students B do not hear everything clearly, so they need to ask student A to repeat, and student A will have to repeat. And you know, this is a great reading activity because they will read this text again and again many times. And it's a great listening activity because you'll have to listen before you write, and they will write too. If you're not comfortable with this noise, try whispering dictations or quiet dictations. They will basically do the same, but they will whisper. And then they can exchange roles. Students B will dictate the text to students A. Yeah, Alexandra is saying that her colleagues will kill her. Yeah, so quiet dictations. Try quiet dictations. They are also fun. Or mirror dictations. So you take a text and you put it into some application like Paint or any application which can work with pictures, and you just mirror this text, and you will have something like this. You can print it and hand it out to your students, or you can show it on your computer screen, and the students will look at the text and they try to unscramble what's written there. What can I see? Yesterday I went to school. Oh, okay, I'm writing this down, and I'll write this down. And then when they're done, they can take a mirror and come to the original, to this piece, and check themselves if they made any mistakes or not. This is also kind of fun. Pictures are great. Pictures are great. Picture dictations are fantastic, especially if you're preparing your students for young learners exams. You can use the materials. This is speaking, right? I know, but you can use this for writing. So you take these materials, these pictures that are meant to be used for speaking, and you make them write about these pictures. So find the differences in writing. Awesome, right? Find the differences, or they can also find the similarities. We never do this. We always find the differences. Why don't we find similarities? For example, in picture 1, I can see a girl, and in picture B, I can see a girl too. Why not? Pictures. You can take a picture with many actions and people and animals and colors and something, and you show this picture to your students for some time. They look at it and try to memorize as much as they can. When the time is up, you turn off the picture like this. You can't see it right now, but I have some questions to you. Can you tell me in the chat what color is the dog? What color is the dog? Black, green, orange. Can you type it in the comment section? What color was the dog? Oksana is saying brown. Okay, maybe. All right. Okay, good. Brown dog. Good job. Okay. How many balloons did you see in the picture? But they will not write just brown. They will need to write the dog is brown. Okay. Yelena said, I didn't even notice. Okay. They can write, there were 0 balloons. There was 1 balloon. Okay. 4. Galina is saying 4. Let's check. Okay. Yes, the dog was brown, and there was a balloon. There was 1 pink balloon over there. So what you do is you turn off the picture and you ask them some questions. You prepare the questions beforehand, and it's good if you can find a picture with a story or some plot, and if you come up with questions which make them write a sort of a story, why not? But it's not necessary. You can just ask random questions. When they're finished, they exchange pieces of writing with their partners, and you show them the picture, and they need to look at the text their partner wrote and correct the mistakes with a red pen. This is their favorite part. This is reading, writing combined. This is actually from Fun for Movers by Anne Robinson, this picture. I took it from this book. So yes, pictures are great. You can try drawing dictations when you have this text and you dictate this text to your students, and they need to listen and they draw the picture of the story. They do not write anything, they just draw a picture of the story. When you're finished, they look at their picture and rewrite the story with their own words. And this is already not copying, this is already something more creative, I think, because after all, in result, you will get, if you have 10 students, you'll have 10 different stories. For one student, one thing was very important. For the second student, something else was more important. They will highlight different things in the story, and you will get 10 different stories. But why not? You may even want to organize this drawing dictation in a kind of a storyboard. So you read the beginning of the story, they draw the beginning of the story, then you read the middle of the story and they draw this, and then you read the end and they draw the end. And when you're done, they'll have to write 3 sentences about picture 1, 3 sentences about picture 2, and 3 sentences about picture 3. So yeah, and if you have recognized, this is also from YLE, this format, they have this in flyers, this kind of written assignment. But why can't it be based on listening to you or reading some famous fairy tale? Why not? Yeah, you can provide them with some words on the board, but it's also not necessary, I think. Pictures are great. And if you teach online, you can also use smileys. Yes, you can take a fairy tale or a story from your course book, and you can write this story with smileys. And then you show this story on your television or your computer screen. And the students look at the smileys and they write this story. They try to guess what this means. For example, a crown. Yeah, maybe it's a king. Okay, a king, a fish. Okay, a king had a fish. Okay, a sheep. And he also had a sheep. Oh no, I know. He caught a fish when he was on a sheep. Okay, great. So they write this story. You give them some time. Then they read their stories out loud, and we enjoy listening to each other. And then we will read the original story and do some exercises with it. Yeah, and then they can even use their smileys to write their smiley stories and send it to the chat, and everybody will have to unscramble their smiley stories. And you can build a whole lesson on this smiley idea, actually. So pictures are great, but not only pictures can be prompts for your writing. Words can help a lot. You can simply do the same as we did in banana dictation before, but you write it on the board, and instead of, well, you erase some of the words in the sentence, and you ask your students to fill in the gaps in their notebooks in a written form. Next time, there will be a little bit more gaps, a little bit less text, and so on until gradually, at some point, you will just write one word on the board and you will say, write a story that begins with this word, or write a story that ends with this word. Yeah, so something like this. Mad Leaps, right? This is something like this, some sort of activity like this. When you first give them a page, you do not explain anything, you just give them this page. Noun 1, noun 2, noun 3, noun 5, verb 1, verb 2, and so on. You ask them to work in pairs, and they just brainstorm some random words. Noun, potato, tomato, carrot, orange, sausage, and so on. And then you explain why they were doing that. You give them page 2 and ask to fill in the gaps with the words they brainstormed. And you'll get a crazy soup recipe, or a funny princess description, or whatever you need to do at this point. Or you can write a text in present simple, and you ask your students to rewrite this text in the past simple. Or you can take a famous fairy tale and intentionally make mistakes in this fairy tale. Or this is what we did at Christmas time. I think some of you saw this worksheet already. Christmas trees are usually pink in the summer and blue in the winter. What? They're not pink, they're green. Wrong. And you just rewrite this text correctly. So this is both reading and writing, which is great. Words, they can really help to boost kids' creativity, to unleash this creativity, so to say. And the only thing you need is literally a board and a piece of chalk or a marker. What we do, we create a text out of just one word. So you write a cat on the board. You have two teams, team A, team B, and you have this cat on the board. Team A have to add one word, and this must be grammatically correct, and this shouldn't be insane. So it should be logically somehow connected and grammatically corrected. If they can do this, great. For example, they can say fat cat. Ooh, good. Team A, good. Okay, team B, and team B, a fat cat sat. Okay, fine, all right. Team A, a fat cat sat on a mat. Oh, good. Team B, a fat cat sat on a green mat, and so on. And this sentence is growing and growing until nobody can add anything. Yeah, that's why it's called the pyramid, because it looks like a pyramid. You can do the opposite when you have a very long sentence and they kill words one by one until it's just one word again. Yes, so this is a way to teach them to write bigger pieces of text themselves. But to do some really serious writing, this was about copying, right? Copying. But to do some really serious stuff, you will have to have this word bank, and the word banks can be topic-based or random word banks. Let's start with random word banks. So they're just crazy words not connected with each other, but when you see them all, somehow a story is born in your head and you can write about this. How can you create random word banks? Take a die. The students work in pairs. They roll the die. Okay, two. Two. And I look here and I see two words that have two letters. Okay. On and eat. Okay, I roll the die and it says three. Three words that have three letters. Can you help me in the chat box, please? Three words that have three letters. Oh, this is hard. This is a little more difficult. So they can see this on the board. One word, one letter, two words, two letters. This is on the board. Okay, Pete, Pat, Matt, cat, dog, red. Good, but Ross, you. Okay, eat, oh, there's a lot. Great, thank you. And they do this in pairs, one by one. They roll the die, they write their words, and they'll have to spend like 2-3 minutes doing that. And then you finally explain why, why they've been doing that. They need to take all these words and come up with a story. Of course, they will not be able to use all of this, but usually they can use most of this. Well, at least 80% is good. And the stories are funny and good and great, and this helps them to imagine, so why not do this? Or if you know memory games, can you play memory games? Please let me know if you know. Write a plus. If I need to explain the rules, write a minus in the chat, please. Memory games. You can use memory games for writing. Yeah, I can see a lot of pluses. There's one minus. Okay. Well, you take cards. You let's see how you can do this with writing. You take sentences, say 5-6 sentences, and you cut them in the middle. And then you put all these sentences face down on your table. Right. Two teams, team A, team B. A member of team A comes to the board and takes 2 cards. And it says, dancing is very fast. Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. I think it's okay. It's grammatically correct. Good job, team A. Yay! Let's make some noise. And they are. Woohoo! 1 point to team A. Good job. Everybody take your pen and write it down. And everybody writes down, dancing is very fast. Okay, good. Team B, come here. And they take the cards, and unfortunately it doesn't match. Sorry, you don't get a plus. And we do not write anything. If this sentence is not grammatically correct, we don't do nothing. We do nothing. And so on. So team A, team B, team A, team B, team A, team B. Well, until everything is open and they have a few crazy sentences in their notebooks. And then the teacher finally says why they have been doing this. Because we will need to write a text using all these sentences you've written. And they will usually get some really crazy but fun texts out of these sentences. They can add as many words as they want to, but they need to use all of this. Yeah. Your word bank can be topic based. So it can be based on something. On a picture, for example. So you have a picture with a lot of people, actions, and so on. And you have 3 groups: nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Nouns, look at the picture and write only nouns they can see in the picture. Verbs, write only verbs. Adjectives, only adjectives. Go. 2 minutes. They write. Then you say stop, and you mix your students, but this time you try to make new groups where you have got nouns, verbs, and adjectives. So someone with nouns, someone with verbs, and someone with adjectives, so that they can exchange and make a good word bank to write about this picture. Yeah, and then they write. This can be their home assignment, for example. Or you can do the same with listening. When they listen to something and one group is writing, or watch a film, one group will be writing nouns, verbs, and adjectives, and then they will exchange ideas. Okay, we can do quite a lot of things, really, and you would never think of writing as of a group activity, but it is a powerful tool to first bring all your students together, and second, to practice writing a lot. For example, speed dating activity, speed dating style, the rules are simple. Students A are in the center, students B are outside. Students B have nothing. Students A have a piece of paper, and they draw this, 2 circles on a piece of paper. And in the middle of the circles, they will write some ideas. They will get, for example, 2 animals, a crocodile and a lizard. And they will write here in the middle, they will write what both a crocodile and a lizard have. For example, they're both green. They're both, they both have 4 legs, and so on. In object 1, they will write what a lizard has. In object 2, they'll write what a crocodile has only. And every pair will have their own animals. Crocodile and lizard, monkey and tiger, a bear and a mouse, and so on. They have 2 minutes. They think, brainstorm ideas, and write them down. And then the teacher says, change. And students B need to stand up and go to the next person and help the next person to brainstorm ideas about this person's animals. And then again, change. They stand up and go to the next person. And when they finally come back to their original partner, they will have a good, very good word bank with ideas they can use to write about these animals at home or in the classroom, whatever you want. They'll have a lot of ideas they can use, and they will be good ideas connected with each other. And yeah, why not do that? Or this old Russian game called nonsense. Nonsense in Russian, you know, where you have a piece of paper and you need to fold it. For example, we can use it in our lessons too. When the teacher says who, and everybody, okay, crocodile, Gena the crocodile, okay. And somebody else will write somebody else, like Puss in Boots or Shrek and so on. And then they fold it, give it to the person on the left, take a piece of paper from the person on the right, and the teacher says, where? In the forest, in the park, in the gym, and so on. Fold it, give it to the person on the left, take it from the person on the right. What did they do? They drank milk, ate sausages, and so on. Fold it, and so on, until my original piece of writing comes back to me. I unfold this story, and I read it out loud, and it's usually a very funny story. Yeah, so you can do the same with describing criminals. We are all cowboys and we're looking for a specific person. We need to know what this person looks like. We need to prepare a description, and it can be a description of this bad person, or it can be a crazy recipe of something. Why not? No, it's not Chinese whispers, but it's actually a great activity too. Yes. Well, there are lots and lots of group activities like that. We can make it different every time. For example, we can take a big piece of paper, put it on the table, divide it into 4 sectors, and every student chooses, you provide them with a list of different ideas or titles or beginnings of sentences. We did it when we studied the second conditional. So Masha wanted to write about this. If I could fly, I would. And she starts writing in her sector. Petya, if I could see through the walls, I would. And he starts writing in his sector. Kostya, if I were invisible, I would. And he starts writing in his sector, and so on. So 4 sectors, 4 students. The teacher says, change, and they stand up and go to the next sector clockwise. So I come to Petya's sector and I read everything he wrote, and I need to continue his story. I must write at least 1 sentence, and I cannot read the same. So it should be something else, something new. Change, they go to the next sector, change, they go to the next sector, and then they finally come back to their original story. And this is usually also crazy, but anyways, you can use it. Why not? They can base their fairy tale, whatever it is, they will write at home on what they did in the class, and it's fun, and they will write a lot, so they'll practice a lot. So why not? Once Stephen King said that if you do not have time to read, you do not have time to write, and I think that he is right. He is right. If you do not read anything, you cannot produce anything. So if you want your kids to write a lot, you first need to make them read a lot, and you need to do both. I think you need to read and write yourself. So there are a lot of activities for reading and writing, but I will share just a few with you today. my favorite t-shirt for writing. You know, we usually have pictures and some words on our t-shirts, and usually these are pictures and words we like. Yeah, for example, I have a t-shirt which says teachers are people who help solving problems they created. For example, so this says something about me. Why not ask your students, design a t-shirt for the main character of a story you've just read. For instance, what t-shirt would Sherlock Holmes wear? What would be written on it? Please let me know in the comment section. I really want to know your ideas. Sherlock Holmes, what picture would there be? A pipe, or what? Or maybe Dr. Watson's photo? I don't know. What would there be? So you read a story, and after that you ask them to design a t-shirt for the main character. Galina is saying cap, a cap. Okay. Okay, Oksana is saying, I see you, what you are up to. Okay, Lyubov is saying that the hat, there will be a hat. Okay, whatever. They design a t-shirt, then they present their project and explain why they think this should be written on this character's t-shirt. Elementary, yes, elementary, Watson. Why not? Yeah. The violin, Yelena is saying, why not? Great ideas. Then, when they're done, you say that you prepared your own project. You show them a picture of a t-shirt of an unknown character. So there's something written on this t-shirt, some pictures, and you say, well, guys, unfortunately, there's no story for this character. So maybe you can help me and design a story for this for this character, and they will have to write a text about a person who could wear this t-shirt you designed. So this is kind of yeah, it can boost their creativity. Or you can ask your students to write a letter to the main character of the story. Or if the author of the story is still alive, why not write a letter to the author of this story? This could be great fun, especially if you know that the author will respond. This will be huge, I promise. Once we wrote a letter to Julia Donaldson, and this was like, wow, this is great fun. I'm not sure that you can do it right now, but try to find the email of your favorite author and just write a class letter to this person. I think it would be a really nice thing to do. So yeah, play with words. What if the main character decided to take a different decision in the middle of the story? What if Kolobok didn't go for a walk? What if he stayed at home? What if, what would happen? What would have happened? I don't know. Or you could write a sequel of this story. For example, you know the story about Masha and the bears. What happened with Masha? Where is she now? What does she do? Where does she work? Is she grown up, or is she still a small girl? I don't know. Why not? Or create a brand new setting for the story. For example, the Three Little Pigs. What if the story was not in Russia, but somewhere in New York? Would the story have been different? Yeah, it would definitely have been different. So yeah, ask them to write about this. Ask them to write their stories. Well, and yes, we are teachers. And the story of the future generations is literally in our hands, and it's up to us whether to write a short story or a thriller or a kind fairy tale. Thank you very much, dear friends. I was very excited and pleased to be here. If you have questions, do write them in the comment section. If you have some personal questions, you can always drop me a message on my blog or send me an email. I'll be glad to help you find the materials you are looking for. By the way, most of the things I've been talking about today are in my blog, so you can go there and download them for free. This is free stuff. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased and delighted to be a guest. Thank you for all these kind words you're writing in the chat.